majority of the men who went to Guantanamo were sent there because of leaflets dropped by the U.S. military offering bounties.
So they would receive money to turn in, it could be a neighbor, right? It could be someone they, knew in passing, an acquaintance. And so the majority of the men who ended up at Guantanamo were innocent of any crimes.
I was only 18 years old when I was sold to the CIA, and I spent almost half my life behind bars, knowing nothing why I was there, what I have done, knowing until when or to where I would be released. When we arrived at Guantanamo, we had no shared life with each other. So the more we stayed, we started developing this kind of bond, friendship, brotherhood. I remember one of the prisoners had a kidney stone and he was crying, struggling. I remember those guards were dancing and laughing when he was screaming and crying for help. And they made him crawl to the medical space. They put him in a chain and they refused to help him. They refused to carry him in the stretcher. Unfortunately, he died after he was released. He died of kidney failure.
The United States government often transfers them, either to their home country or a third-party country in which they have very little, if any, support. And so oftentimes it's the case that the men are unemployed, cannot find employment. They may lack housing. They may not have legal status.
So that's when we call it Guantanamo 2.0. Because Guantanamo is following you, stigma. And I tell people always, American imprisoned us for 15 years. But some of the rest of the world will punish us for the rest of our life.
All of us at the Guantanamo Survivors Fund have worked for decades to try to close the prison. But the reality is that most of the men now are outside the prison, and many of them are struggling.
The Guantanamo Survivors Fund seeks to provide support to the men who have been transferred out of the prison so that they can rebuild some semblance of a normal life post-detention and torture.
Some of the men have needed medical care, and we've provided medicine, emergency surgery, kidney dialysis, and a prosthetic leg. And other men simply need help paying for food and rent.
Well, today we're asking you, with everything you've heard, to make a donation to support this vital work.
Honestly, it's a privilege to work in this program and to help as much as we can. Being able to help someone who is being tortured, abused, someone who is helpless. I am one of them. So I wish I could help all of them.